I know I'm late. I know. I forgot to upload the intro video, so I was like, well, I took the time to make it, so I'm going to upload it. That's why I was late. And I made them this afternoon, and then I forgot to upload them, so that's what happened. So Rod is over in Italy right now, and he will be going to Spain within 12 hours. So he is on his honeymoon. So Mike graciously, he didn't even agree. I actually just put him in the co-host spot. I didn't even ask him. Mike is my co-host tonight. We're joined by Dan in Demand below me. It's Dan's first time on the show. And also Catty Corner is Joe Philly Picker. He's been on with us before. All three of these guys' channel links are down in the description, so definitely check out their channels. I'm going to make them each big, let them introduce themselves, and then we already have 9 questions. So get your questions in early if you want them answered. And yeah, because Dan is on YouTube. I promise. He's there. I saw him. That's how I met him. I've known all three of these guys for years. I've actually known Dan and Joe longer than Mike, so I probably should have put one of them up. But you know, it is it's almost all bearded men and reselling. I've noticed. You know, it happens. All right, so here's Dan to introduce himself. Wait, no waiting. You just got to do it.
But I thought the co-host would introduce himself first.
No, you're first with everything. You're the most important.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know how to introduce myself. My name's Dan. I have a YouTube channel, Dan in Demand. I sell. I'm a reseller, I guess. And I'm from Indiana. What else am I supposed to say? I hate introducing myself.
What do you do on your channel? What do you show on your channel?
My adventures in reselling. Just kind of mostly what's sold videos, and I think it's about it.
So his name is Dan in Demand on Instagram. I'll just talk. You can move your lips. No, I'm just kidding. All right, guys, here's Joe.
What's up, everybody? My name's Joe. I go by Philly Picker on YouTube and on Instagram. I'm a part-time reseller in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Kat, thanks for having me on again. I've been on here a few times, and I enjoy every time I'm on here.
Oh, yeah, thanks for having me on, Kat.
Perfect. Here's Mike.
Hey everyone, my name is Mike. I am the JanuaryHouse on YouTube. I also have another channel, the January Auction House, where I do auctions on YouTube. I'm also just starting up on Whatnot, January Auction House over there as well. I'm a full-time reseller in Central Pennsylvania. And thanks, Kat, for having me on again and being the co-host.
Perfect. All right. So the question we got, and the guy saw it too, was put in early by Cookie, but it disappeared. So if you put questions in before about 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, they get erased because it's been too long. But Cookie's question basically was, she shipped something out. Her buyer said they didn't get it. It showed delivered, and she refunded them. And she wanted to ask us if she did the wrong thing. So let's answer that first.
Me?
Yep, you. It's all you.
Yeah, I wouldn't have refunded them. I would tell them that, well, they open a case, and then eBay's going to have you put in the tracking. It's going to show delivered, and I think 9 times out of 10 it closes it like almost automatic because it's been delivered. I mean, so yeah. I wouldn't refund it. I've done it. I've done that before too. Yeah, so it wasn't delivered. It was like delayed. And it wasn't delivered, so I guess it's not the same. But
yeah, I don't think I would have refunded either.
Don't refund until eBay tells you to.
Yeah, I think once it shows delivery and once they open up that dispute or whatever, if you just upload the tracking, I think eBay takes care of it from there. Once it shows that it is delivered, you're not responsible for what happens. You know, after it's delivered, if somebody comes and takes it or blows away, whatever, you're covered once it's marked delivered.
Right. Like the guy said, if you shipped it through eBay and got a tracking number through eBay, if the customer just messages you and just says, I never got it, even though it shows delivered, I want a refund, you know, I don't know. The more common, I think I have more of an issue was, did I do the wrong thing? Or like, you know what I mean? Like she felt bad about it. Like there's a different ways. You could probably make the argument to refund it as well, just as easy, right? Like, what if you didn't have anything into it and you just wanted to make a customer happy, you didn't care, and you were just like, whatever, just keep it. You know what I mean? Like, there's different ways to do everything that we answer, probably. Probably. I mean, some of the things.
Yeah, if it was
Yeah.
worth it.
I mean, let eBay handle it. If it shows delivered and you bought the tracking number through eBay will back you up. All you do, let them open a case, you'll enter the tracking number, and then eBay will close it for you. You don't have to refund them like on your side.
Yeah, and I agree. I would not have refunded because you're covered. Because anybody can say they didn't get it. We actually had something from Amazon 2 weeks ago that ended up 2 blocks from our house. And luckily, the guy found my husband on Facebook and said, "Hey, I got your package at my house." And it was like 2 miles up the road, not even 2 blocks. So you're covered. I actually have an international like GSP right now that is like delayed, and the customer did a chargeback on me. So I'm interested to see what eBay does, because I should be protected because it got to eBay's global shipping center, but they didn't file it through eBay, where eBay would have refunded us both. They filed a chargeback on their card, so I cannot prove delivery. So I'm kind of like sitting on waiting on that one to see what actually happens.
You know what else happens that sometimes I've had is the post office will show it delivered like today, Tuesday, but it actually doesn't deliver until tomorrow for some reason. Like I've had that, even like packages I was receiving, like it said, "Oh, delivered." I go to the mailbox and it's not there, and then I get it the next day. I don't know why. Like if they scan it at the end of the day or something like that, like it was delivered, but sometimes that happens too. So I tell the people, like, sometimes it'll be the next day, or if it's not within a couple of days, check with your post office or contact eBay. And
yeah, I had that happen with UPS, and it was over $1,000 worth of stuff in the box, and I was freaking out. I got box 2 of 2, and when I looked at the tracking, it said both boxes were delivered. And so for 2 hours, I was freaking out. And then along comes another UPS truck with the other box. And I'm like, "Why did this show delivered already?" He's like, "Oh, no, it shouldn't have." I'm like, "It did." Like, I don't know if the tracking numbers were linked when they scanned the one. But yeah. All right. Miss Barbara says, "When you have an item that's flat and weighs less than an ounce, how can I mail it with a stamp versus a eBay label?" She said it is an iron-on patch.
excuse me.
Stamp with the eBay label. You can't. So you guys are making me answer this first. I don't think you can sell. You can't sell patches with the standard shipping label, right? I think it's just cards and stickers, right? So I'm not sure if you can do that with that, but when it's something like that, I still put it in like a regular. Do I have an envelope? You could put it on here, and it's probably going to ship at a 4 ounce, right?
Like 4 bucks.
Yeah, but I don't think you can do the iron-on patches on the standard. But I'm not sure about that because I don't sell iron-on patch. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on the. Well, I'm not an expert on anything, but. Gosh.
I think you're just running the risk. I think you can ship it out with a stamp or whatever, but I think you're running the risk of
with the stamp. Yeah.
He
wants to ship it. So you're not gonna get not dingable. It's not gonna have any tracking.
Right.
Yeah.
So I ship everything with tracking.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna lose your top rated. You're not gonna get that, and then you're gonna run into. I mean, if it's cheap like an iron-on patch, I'm not saying. Well, I'm assuming iron-on patches aren't that expensive if you're sending it with a stamp, but you're gonna. I don't think people are gonna scam. They might try to scam you, and you're just gonna. I think I don't know.
Yeah, I think with sending out a stamp, you just run the risk of not having any backing from eBay because you didn't upload any tracking, and that buyer can always say, "I never received it." There is no proof that it is just from a stamp. And then you run the risk, like Dan said, and you lose your top-rated seller if you ship out too many items without the tracking. So overall, unless you have like a separate account and you're not worrying about that, and you just want to sell your patches on there, and just you don't care about the metrics and all that other jazz with that, you can just sell all your patches on there and send them out that way, so it doesn't affect your main account.
That's good.
Right. Agreed. everything Dan said, right?
Oh, I thought you were just gonna say what Joe said.
Well,
So first I'm going to say Joe and Mike made Dan in the hot seat. I was going to put Joe there. So they're the ones who made their buddy be in the hot seat, not me.
They hate me.
Second is I do not ship anything for the same reasons that they have said. You have no tracking. You can't prove you shipped it. You're going to show late shipping because you can't prove you shipped it. Now, before, people have told us that you can add tracking for like 50 cents. So then it might cost $1.50 or something versus $4. But I charge them shipping. So my lowest shipping is about the $4.50 range. Ms. Brenda said eBay standard envelope. My understanding is that is only for sports cards. So that wouldn't work for a patch. But if you're doing calculated, they're paying, you know, and I want tracking. I want to be able to prove they got it. That they got the item. I'm not gonna do that. I wanted, where did you go now? Where did you go? I can't find him now. I wanted to put Gino's here and I wanted to put his hello up and I can't find you, Gino. Where'd you go? I can't find it. I want to say hi to Gino Fines because he made my super chat little videos, but I can't find you, Gino. All right, next question. Patty wants to know, and I don't know how many of you guys use List Perfectly, but she wants to know what happens to your listings if you leave List Perfectly.
I use Vendu. I like Vendu.
So, like, if you left Vendu, what would happen to your listings?
I don't know, Mike. What happens if I leave Vendu?
Yeah, I don't know either because Vendu as well, but I don't use Vendu. I don't start the listing in Vendu. I start the listing at eBay and then bring them into Vendu and then use Vendu to push out to Poshmark, Mercari, Facebook, whatever. Right. So I don't know. I mean, so my listings would still be okay because they're all on eBay since I don't start them on Vendu. But I don't know. I mean, I guess.
I feel like you'd still have an account, but I mean, I
feel like you have access, I would think.
Yeah, you would. I would feel like you'd have access. You wouldn't be able to.
I don't think you wouldn't have access to. I would think on Vendu or List Perfectly. So, Joe, are you cross posting or you're not cross posting?
No, I don't use either one. I don't use List Perfectly.
Joe, you sell on Mercari. You sold that one thing last like a month ago, and you shipped it yesterday.
Yeah. No, I just mainly sell on eBay, but I do, if I do cross post anything, I just do it on my own. And, you know, unfortunately I've made some mistakes like Dan pointed out that sometimes I miss if I sell something on Mercari, and one time I did ship it out about a week late, but the guy was happy.
Listen, I'm going to tell you. So my mom cross posts for me. Let me answer the question first. So if you leave List Perfectly, your listings would still stay on all the platforms, but you wouldn't have access to them in List Perfectly. So if you want, like if something's sold on eBay, you're going to have to go manually remove it from Poshmark, Mercari, Etsy, or wherever else it's cross-posted. And the other thing I like about List Perfectly is it stores the listings. So like we have returns that might come back after they've dropped off of eBay, and we can go to List Perfectly and just put that listing back up. So you just wouldn't have access to your listings in one database anymore. So your listings would still be exactly where they are. You just wouldn't have a tool to like end them on all platforms with one click. I don't know if Vendu ends all on all the platforms with one click or not. List Perfectly is pulling them now. List Perfectly pulls them. Like right now I can see I have 6 sales and I just click sold and it pops it. It's beautiful. Brand new on List Perfectly. Auto sales detection on all the platforms is absolutely amazing. So it's at the top of my browser now. So now I forgot what else was I going to talk about, Mike? What else did I start talking about?
About missing a sale.
Oh, yeah. So my mom cross posts. That's what made me think of this. My mom cross posts, and I guess Brad must have signed into his Etsy on the computer she uses. And so my mom cross posted 12 listings to Etsy on Brad's account that I don't look at. I never check. So how about a month late, Joe? A month. $180 sale.
Oh,
And I didn't see it. So I tried messaging the lady. This happened this week. I messaged the lady. I said, I'm so sorry. I explained, like, my mom helps me. She put on my husband's account. I don't check it. And the only response was, if you have them, why haven't you shipped them? I'm like, I just spent like 10 minutes explaining that to you. So anyways, I shipped them and sent her like a $30 refund. I haven't logged back into his account, but I deleted the rest of them that my mom did that with. And I was like, oh my, like, I guess at least it was only one, but yeah. So that happened. And of course it wasn't a $20 sale. It was a almost $200 sale. So yeah. Ms. Barbara's asking, how does the customer open up a delivery case with eBay? It's honestly, Ms. Barbara, it's just one click. They can just hit the down arrow and hit item not received, and then it walks them through it. So there's not a list of steps. Like if you go to your purchases, there's a down arrow and you can hit item not received, and that would open the case. I think it has to be like a certain amount of days. They won't. No, that's not true, because you know people open up like item not received like the day you ship it. So
right.
yeah, I think they can open it up quicker. Let me see. Miss Diane wants to know, would you purchase missing pieces from eBay to complete a set so you can sell the item as complete, like play sets, dishes, anything like that?
I just did that this week. I was watching a video and someone, they bought the it was Paul the Philly Flipper. He bought a hardback copy of Harry Potter to complete the set, and I had 6 of the 7 paperbacks. So I just went on there and I just bought it. They're in my car. I just got them in. I got them in the mail today.
I've done it in the past. I did it with like sets of DVDs, like to complete a set of like a series or whatever. I've done it. Just bought the one replacement set to. Now you have to weigh out the options if it's worth it. If it's worth it or not. By paying $6 or $7 for a DVD to complete the set that I can sell for $50 or $60. I would do it.
It's a big margin there, Joe.
Right. Yeah, I've done it too as well with like action figures and parts and pieces for them. So yeah, I mean, if it's worth it, I would definitely. I mean, if the return is good, is big enough, like Joe said, I would definitely do it.
Yeah. So for me, I have only done that twice in 3 years. So it would have to really like make the value of that set go up by having that last piece. Like dishes, I typically will sell as replacement for those of you that are, if you want to buy them, you can find them for me as singles. Because most people, I feel like, especially with the older sets, they're looking for one because one broke, so they will sell better and for more money as singles. And I don't do a ton of toys, but I have bought a couple of things to complete sets over the 3 years, and only if it's, like I said, it has to make a pretty significant difference in the sales price, because then you're holding it. It might take a week for the item to get there, and it just takes longer. But if it's like a $50, $60 sale, then yes. Does anybody know this? I don't know the answer to this. Miss Edelyn says, where can I find a list of current rates and specifications for USPS with changes in prices and the types of prices? Does anybody know?
No, I don't.
Maybe in the chat.
I mean, I would probably just Google it, I guess.
I would say their website, but their website's hard to find.
The website is definitely hard to navigate. I bet you if you Google it, somebody else, like a third party out there, has.
But it's all different depending on zip code to zip code too. So right. What I do is when I'm listing on my phone, when you click on the option, it'll tell you the price range, like for close to you to far away from you. So I always look at that so I know what I'm charging the buyer, since I do calculated shipping. And that's what I do.
I do flat rate shipping.
Are you doing mostly light stuff?
Yeah, I mostly sell clothing and shoes now.
Okay. Yeah, I do mostly flat rate shipping, and sometimes I lose on some of it, like with sneakers or something like that. Depending if it's going to I'm in Pennsylvania. If it's going to California, I might lose some money on that, and then
I just got lucky. I sold a pair of shoes, and so for shoes, if they're 2 pounds, I charge $10 for shipping, and so depending on where it goes, sometimes I can pay. If it's going close to me, I might pay $7 or $8. But if it's going to like, I'm in Indiana, so if it goes to California, it might charge $12, $13. I sold a pair of shoes to Hawaii, and I for some reason I had calculated on it. So the guy paid $13 and it cost me $12.78. So I got so lucky. I don't know why I had to tell you guys that, but I felt like I did.
Yeah. Thrifting's my hobby wants to know, what is your best and worst day on eBay?
Oh God. My best day is when I sell something. my worst day is when I don't sell anything. And then when I don't list anything, I get like the heebie-jeebies.
I don't know. My worst day, I don't know if it was a day. It was probably like a 2-week span. I got like maybe 7 returns in like a 2-week time frame. That was a bad 2 weeks for me. But
Miserable.
my best day is, I don't know.
Maybe specifically. Like
like an item that I sold.
Yes, I mean, maybe
I sold like a $400 license plate not too long ago. That was.
We're just bragging over here. I sold a pair of shoes for $120.
Wait till you hear mine, my friend.
Well, I don't want to hear yours. $3,000 or something.
Yeah, I think. I'll agree with that. And the worst day is when you don't sell anything and like you get a return too. So not only did you sell anything, like then you're
down $30 unless you sell more expensive stuff.
I've had a couple big days. I don't know if I can think of my. Well,
What's
I
your
sold
most recent big day. You ever recent?
Yeah,
really
I just sold over the week. This past weekend, I sold a $600 map on eBay.
Oh, that's it. Just 600.
A piece of paper.
But I sold a portable oxygen machine. I sold that for like $2,000 on eBay. That was nice.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a good one.
That was the pallet one.
I'm sure Kat's got a 5-figure sale there somewhere.
Yeah,
not 5, but I had an $8,000 sales day on eBay.
You say today?
No,
I wish. That was like last year. I haven't had that in forever. I wish. I sold 2 Judith Lieber purses, one for $3,500, one for $2,500, and then I had really good sales the whole day. So I had over an $8,000 day that day, which was absolutely amazing. I'd agree with the guys. Like, I don't know. I think probably the worst day are when I get the nitpicky buyers that message me repeatedly on the weekends, because I don't go near my inventory on the weekends. Like Saturday and Sunday, I'm not checking anything for you. And then they'll message me 2 hours later on a Saturday morning. I asked you a question. Why haven't you answered? This happened this weekend, by the way, when I was out of town. And then they're like, I want to buy this item. Have you seen my question on Sunday? And I'm like, I'm not even answering. And then they buy it anyways when I haven't even answered on Monday. I'm like, okay, like, yeah. So,
you said you weren't going to bring up our personal conversations on eBay here that we have. I emailed you that in confidence.
I'm sorry. I had to tell everybody about it. Linda wants to know if you had any luck selling hard goods on Poshmark.
I
haven't any goods on Poshmark.
Dan is first.
Sorry.
Yeah, you want to be in the hot seat, or am I in the hot seat?
Yeah, had hard goods.
Well, I don't really sell. I mean, so when I started, I did board games and puzzles and all that kind of stuff. I sold board games on Poshmark. I sold a Scrabble game for $50, but I mostly sell clothing and shoes now. Even though I just got some like toy inventory this last week for free. I'm looking at some of that stuff now. But I bought some puzzles on Poshmark like the other day, but I don't really sell that much like stuff like that. So no.
I haven't sold anything on Poshmark. I think I might have sold 1 or 2 clothing.
Have you've never potched in your life?
You even posh, bro?
Nope.
Have you ever shared your closet?
No, I've never shared my closet. I don't even know if I have a closet.
You know, everyone has a closet if they're on
I don't know if I have any hard goods on Poshmark right now. It's just clothing and shoes, and it's not very many of them. But I didn't know. I didn't know. I guess I didn't really know you could sell hard goods on Poshmark.
Yeah, you can just about sell everything.
Listen, I'm going to tell all of you on the panel and in chat. I just did a Poshmark video 2 weeks ago talking about how I sell more hard goods than clothes on Poshmark. So check that out. I haven't done an all Posh video. I did it, maybe it was 3 weeks ago. But we sell probably 80% non-clothing items on Posh. And that's like home decor stuff, dishes sell well. We sold dishes, stuff like that a lot on Poshmark. We sell way more non-clothing than we sell clothing. See, Southern Mermaid watched it. She gets a gold star.
Dang it.
She gets a gold star.
I'm sorry, Kat.
But yeah, so we sell more. Miss Barbara sent a $5 super sticker. Thank you so much. Here is your Dolphin by Gino. Oh, I need to make a poll. I need to make a poll again because I've gotten here and there comments of Dolphin haters, and I say I'll go with the majority. If you like the Dolphin or don't like the Dolphin, I need to hold on. I'm going to create an official. I'm going to create an official poll.
No, that's not. No. Keep the Dolphin. What are we doing? We're going to get rid of the Dolphin on this channel? No, we're not.
I'm just going to prove.
Yeah.
I'm going to prove. I want to prove my point. Is really what I want to do. I'm not going to lie.
You gonna do a sea urchin or something?
Listen, as the new co-host, we're not getting rid of the Dolphin.
How do I create a poll?
Co-host. You're a special co-host.
Listen, when Rod comes back,
How do I create a poll?
Rod can kill the
Who
Dolphin.
knows? I know I can do it. How do I create a poll? Who knows? It used to. How do I do it?
Co-host. How do you do it?
I would say one in the chat if you want us to keep the Dolphin and type it 2.
Did it go away?
FSJ Dolphin.
Well,
great.
grilled dolphin is mahi mahi. That is not the same. Love the Dolphin, love the Dolphin, love the Dolphin. Not a lot of people. There are at least 3 to 4 people I know that do not like the Dolphin, and they let me know.
Wow.
Block those people.
Yes, 1, no 2. That's what Busy Girl says. So if you like it, put 1. If you don't, put 2. And then they can watch the chat replay. That's what they can do.
Yep.
BJB, hello. Question from Ohio. Do any of you know anyone interested in old or collectible saddles? They're trying to help a friend with a clean out. So does anybody in the chat or do any of us know anybody interested in saddles?
Mike might. Mike knows that someone.
I don't have a saddle guy. It's one of the guys I don't have, but
you don't.
no.
Yeah, I don't. I will. Oh, I also want to say, if any of you in South Florida, somebody messaged me. They're having to move last minute, and they have some collectibles, and they're trying to sell out too. They're down in the Palm Beach area. If anybody's there, let me know.
Oh,
and I think Rod's going to check out my friend, and she's actually in Melrose. That's like there's 100 pounds of jewelry right here that I got from her yesterday, and she still has a bunch. I wanted to put this up too. Summertime vintage. So those guys that are in the membership, she's asking, do you find it helpful? So there are 3 levels. $1.99 is store reviews, which is this Thursday. It's once a month. It's this coming Thursday. And then I do live sourcing, which is my favorite because I get to shop for you without spending any money. That is every other Saturday. That is this Saturday. So we've got 2 live events coming up this week for members, and then every other Monday you get to watch me and Lynn shipping. If Dalton's out of school, Dalton's there too, but mostly it's me and Lynn, so you guys get to see them. I know people answered this in the chat, but I'll ask and let us answer as well. Does Whatnot allow all the F-bombs?
I'm supposed to answer first, but I don't Whatnot. I don't sell on Whatnot. I have a hard time getting over there. I'm hardly ever there.
I don't sell on Whatnot either, but I've heard some F-bombs on there.
They do allow it, and as a seller, you can toggle that switch to I don't know, remove explicit content like words, and it'll actually mute. It'll mute those words that come. If it hears you say,
does it mute it when you say it?
Yeah.
So you say the F-bomb and it beeps it?
I was watching a live today, and they were selling this lipstick, and in the title of the lipstick was a female body part.
Like what? Say
it was part of the lipstick brand or something. Yeah. And every time you said it went blank, like it just nothing happened.
What does it start with?
Why is it doing that? And then he's like, "Oh, I always put the explicit content on just in case I slip up." Like, so she had toggled the switch that wouldn't allow her to like broadcast the F-bomb, but it picked up the word in this lip and it muted it. It was weird.
That is interesting.
Spell the word.
That is interesting. Yeah, so you can toggle on that switch. I laugh all the time because I say boobs and people can't type boobs on whatnot. You cannot type boobs. Oh. It will you out. You also cannot type eBay on whatnot. It will blank that out as well. So it will censor the chat very much. I've never heard it blanking out the people that are saying it. I always get scared because I raid people every night. And when the first thing I see is warning, explicit content, I'm like, uh-oh, what I send my people to. Most are just like normal people. And I guess like Mike said, they think like if they might slip up. I guess if I'm saying boobs, I should turn it on because whatnot thinks that's explicit content too. But yeah. Yeah, so I see a couple of 2s in there, guys, but I see a lot more 1s. So I respectfully tell the people that don't like it, the majority do. I have created official polls, and that was the same results. And they don't say why they don't like it. Some people just don't like it. There's a third too. But again, I go with the majority, and it's been here for a long time. So my John, I wanted to call him Mike because of more income, is saying 0. He's going flat. He's not getting in it.
Cat's very say when you have 1,000 subscribers, you can do what you want to do.
I know, but if it was a majority that didn't like it, I would take it out. You know what I mean? Like I would. I would. It would suck, but I would. But I'm keeping it. I'm keeping it. I just wanted to kind of show the people that don't like it how many do, because I think they feel like if they don't like it, everybody doesn't like it, but that's not the case. Karen says, I want to add a video to my store. I'm going to assume eBay, and she wants to know if any of us have done that and what our thoughts are on doing that. I think they almost have like where you can put a trailer on your eBay store now.
Oh, on the store?
Yeah.
I haven't done. I've done just the video to listing, but not to my store.
Yeah, you've added video to your listings, right?
Right? I've done that. That's worked. I mean, I've only done it. I don't remember what it was on. There's only one. It was hopefully to sell it, and it sold. So I'm pretty sure it sold.
I just did a video and a listing, not actually on my store.
But I've never seen it on the like a trailer for the store. I was on eBay on my app, like the app. I don't know if it shows up there.
I don't think so. I think it's just on the computer.
I've never done either, store or listing. So I don't know.
I have seen it, but I have not done it. I think if you could show a cool thing of like some of your stuff, or maybe even of you, and introduce yourself so people see you. But I don't think most people look at the stores. And I want to say, I'm not trying to tell the haters, because I'm not mad at them for not liking the Dolphin. I'm not mad at them at all. Somebody said they're loud, so that I can work with. If you think they're loud, I can turn the volume down. So if you guys feel like they're louder than our voices, I can turn the volume down. I'm not mad. If you don't like the Dolphin, I don't care, you know. I don't like, well, no, I mean, I'm not like mad that they don't like the Dolphin. I don't care if they don't like the Dolphin. That sounds mean. I'm not meaning it mean. I mean, like, it's your opinion. You can have it.
Whatever. Someone's not going to like, if you switch it to something else, they're not going to like that either. Then someone else will like it.
I know. You cannot make everybody happy all the time. Jane says, what is the biggest fear you have gotten over in reselling that expanded your sales? Mine was shipping international without global shipping. Cheaper shipping equals bigger buyer audience and sales. So what one thing do you feel like you've gotten past?
I mean, why are you laughing at me?
Because
that used to be one of mine, but I mean, I'm fine with that. I haven't, like, I had global shipping on for the longest time, but I shipped on my own anyway. So I let the buyer, they had the option. I have all kinds of fears, but I used to, I mean, I don't really because I'm down when I'm selling, but before, if something's like big and it sucks to ship, like I sucked it up. If it was worth it, I would try. I would do it. Like if it's a big item, like the worst thing, it was a Laserdisc player. I shipped a Laserdisc player, and that was probably by far one of the worst things I've ever shipped in my life. And I probably wouldn't do it again. But I guess if it was, depending on how much it costs, I mean, oh my god. I mean, it was like 2 years ago, so I don't know what they sell for now. But it was good at the time, so like that. But
I think one of my biggest fears was once I got over spending up for items, like paying more.
That's a good one.
Paying more for certain items, and of course that helped me make spending $100 on an item to sell for $300 or $400.
I don't do that.
Was one of the fears that I had of spending too much money, and but once I got over that, that really helped out my sales, and that's kind of like the items that I look for now is more of a higher dollar item that will sell a little bit quicker.
The Goldwill. You shop mostly at Goldwill?
Yes, Goldwill.
Yeah, Jane, that's a good example too. Shipping without the eBay international shipping, like global shipping on your own. I do that as well. My biggest, I'll go back to it's not anytime recent, but I had a fear of going to like a live auction and buying stuff from a live auction when I was a reseller, like that I would mess up or like, I don't know, like people would make fun of me or something. I don't know. Like I had a fear of like buying stuff in public like that. But once I got over it and just went and did it, and I'm sure there's probably people that don't go to like a live auction and buy stuff. You know what I mean? But you can get some good deals there. And, you go a couple times, you get the hang of it, and it's fun. So that was mine.
That was a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Joe kind of nailed mine a little bit. And, like, you can't buy or sell scared. If you're scared, you're never going to make it in this business. Like, you have to be confident with research you do, buy stuff, be comfortable with it. Because if you're scared, and that's the same with offers. If you're accepting lower offers because you're scared you're not going to get another one, you're not confident in your pricing. So I would say selling scared, and that means buying scared too. You got to get past that to do it. And the other thing is people, and this is more like when you're newer, is the fear of getting returns. You're going to get returns. Who was it? They said they got their first return, so they're a real reseller earlier. I saw a comment. Yeah, I saw that comment in the chat, and you're going to get returns. It's part of the business. Whether you accept them or not, I assure you, you eventually will get a return and you eventually will get a negative feedback. If you're selling enough, both of those are going to happen. And if they happen, you either get the negative feedback removed or you just move on. It's not like a life-ending crisis or even a business-ending crisis. It just is what it is. All right. Mike, are you dancing tonight?
Maybe.
He might if he gets happy enough. He might if he gets happy enough.
Or
thumbs up button enough? How many thumbs ups do we have, Kat?
I don't know because I'm watching in StreamYard.
Oh,
More! John, how many thumbs up do we have? Okay, he also wants to know, he's got comments for all of you. He wants to know, Joe, how's the beach?
The beach is good. I was there a couple weeks ago.
I was there 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Joe lives at the beach.
I wish.
I was only there for a day. One literally, we got there Saturday afternoon and left Sunday morning, so I did not have much beach time. But Dalton enjoyed it. I uploaded pictures on Instagram. We had a fun. It was literally a day and a half vacation from Saturday morning to Sunday night is all we were gone. So yeah. all right. And he's telling Dan's the superstar, and we put him on the spot. Like it's kind of intimidating and stressful the first time you come on here, let alone being put in the hot seat. But his friends said they wanted him there. So there he is.
It was all
There he is.
We love. Welcome.
Shanae's Closet wants to know, what is your workday daily routine?
Yeah, Dan.
Oh, you're gonna love this one. Well, right now I'm working the midnight shift. I have a hard time. I've been having a hard time sleeping, so I'm kind of up all night. So I've been working. I work late, well, kind of middle of the night till early in the morning. But for real, I kind of do that. I just kind of get started with my day. I get some. Usually try to get some listing done if I'm. Well, most of the time, God, I don't even know how to do this anymore. I don't know how to do this. I have a. I usually, because I do clothing and I use the daylight to take pictures of the clothing. So if I get up super early, I'll start drafts of what I'm going to list for the day, but I have to wait until a certain time of the day when the sun is coming in the window so I can take the pictures without them looking like crazy bad. Or so I have to around 11 o'clock in the morning is when I can start taking pictures. So I'll make my drafts before that.
Your store name is the Stonehenge Cellar?
No, I'm just being honest. It's like where I take my pictures, the lighting it's horrible. Like I'll do it because I don't have some elaborate lighting system, and then I usually you guys are in for a treat. My mom watches my dog during the day while I work. So around 3 o'clock I have to go pick him up. So around 1 o'clock is when I do my shipping, and I go pick him up and bring him home, and then if I have to finish my listing, I finish my listing there, and then it's time for dinner. That's my day. And sometimes I'll go sort, like if I'm sourcing, I go sourcing in the morning, and at some point I take my pictures between 11 and does that make any sense?
It does.
You have to wait for the sun to get,
I'm being serious. Even like in this room. So this is where I take. Right here is where I take pictures of I guess my hard goods or my shoes. And at a certain time, I can't. The shadows mess up the lighting. That's for real. The lighting.
All right. I do something. My day's not really consistent each day. Sometimes I'll pack at night. I try to pack the night before.
Well, and Joe's part-time too. Joe's not full-time.
Right. Yeah, I'm part-time, so
part-time seller.
I guess I have a little bit of a leeway, but I usually try to pack my orders the night before, so I can take them with me if I'm going out throughout the day to drop them off. But I usually try to start drafts. My biggest thing is what I've started probably within the last year is if I'm out thrifting or at a yard sale or whatever, if I decide to buy that item, I automatically start a draft right there in the thrift store or at the garage sale. So I don't have to go back and look it up once I get home. Yeah, so I have all my drafts already sitting there. And then when I do have some time during the day or in the evening, I'll take pictures of those items. So once I start the draft, at the thrift store, that's kind of what keeps me going. But I make sure I do my shipping kind of like the night before. Whatever sells that during that day, I'll ship it out the next day.
Right. I mean, every day is usually a little different, but the typical work day for me is when I wake up. First thing I do when I wake up, send out offers. Anything I have people looking at, whatever from the night before. Then I start my shipping. My thought process is if I send the offer and they accept it, I can add it to today's shipments. And I've actually, you can put a little note in the offer section when you send an offer out. And I've started to do it hey, if you accept and pay for this item this morning, I can get it out in today's shipments. And it's worked a couple of times for me. So maybe that might help some other people. But basically, I do the offers, then I start my shipping, then I start my listing. And then, depending on what I have to list or what I don't have, if I have to clean stuff or not or whatever, it takes me up to usually I go to the post office between 3 and 4. And then there's a couple different thrift stores depending on which post office I'll go to. So if I go to there's 2 thrift stores by the one post office, there's 1 thrift store by the other. So it depends. I'll do a little sourcing while I'm out at the post office. I'll come back and, I usually will list a little bit at night, before I go to bed and then start the day over again.
Those are way better. You should be in the hot seat. Is a better answer than mine.
Mine is different every day. I'm a little bit different than everybody. I have a full-time eBay assistant. So I can share with you her routine. She comes in at 8:30. She sends offers to all of the watchers first thing in the morning. And then she pulls, she packs, and then the rest of the day she's photographing. That's why she just unpacked a massive, you can see all back there. She's made a big dent in my death pile. It is going away slowly but surely. So for me, I get up, I have to take Dalton to school at 7:30. I come back, I typically will list all of her drafts because she doesn't do pricing. I edit pricing and titles. That's normally 20 and 30 a day. And then I might pull for Whatnot. We do Whatnot sales 5 days a week. If my daughter can't catalog, I'm cataloging for Whatnot for 2 to 3 hours it takes to catalog. And then we pick Dalton up at 2:30. Dalton now, he has soccer practice Wednesdays and Fridays. So we have that to do in the evening. And then I get him bathed. I lay down with him. And then at 8:30 at night, I go live on Whatnot for 2 to 2.5 hours. That's 5 days a week. So Wednesday, Friday, and now he just started swim lessons on Sunday, and he's starting ninja class on Tuesdays soon. So he's and games start on Saturdays. He's gonna have events 5 days a week that we're bringing him to. So I'm putting all of that in, and I do my Whatnot sales at 8:30 because it's after he goes to bed. So I don't miss time with him. Those 5 nights I'm doing the show after he's asleep, except for he gets to come Fridays and Saturdays if we do them. Dalton's hanging out in the show, but if it's a school night, he's not there. And then if I have to go sourcing, that's a whole day. I typically will go to 4 or 5 thrift stores to get videos. And if it's a video day, that's another 3 to 4 hours out of my day. So mine are pretty much nonstop between 7:30 and 10:30 at night. I do take time out for Dalton when he gets off at school from 2:30 till he goes to bed. So that's kind of a breakup. But then I'm back to work at 8:30 for Whatnot. So I am a little bit crazy, and that's not a typical reseller. That's a crazy cat schedule. So yeah. Okay. For those of you that don't like the dolphin or it's too loud, turn it down because there are 3 of them coming your way. First is Sherry, and I will get the volume fixed by next week. I'm glad you guys told me that. Sherry became a YouTube member. Thank you so much. I already posted, and for those of you that are members, in the community tab of my YouTube channel for you to post for store reviews for Thursday. Go put your name or link of your store so I can review it Thursday night. Here is your dolphin.
Welcome to the flipping family.
We got 2 more coming. 2 more coming. Mark paid his late fee because Mark was late tonight. OG and Z. He's paying his late fee, $5, and he wants to know, is it Hollywood Squares? So the funny thing is, I'm going to tell you, this was actually perfect. So we added Dan on, and I was like, man, I'm going to have 5 squares and get over my OCD. And then it happened to be the week that Rod was on his honeymoon. And I was like, yes, I don't have to get over my OCD. I still have 4 squares. We did 5 squares. Actually, I haven't seen him tonight. Cha-ching King. I'm wearing a shirt. Scott. We did 5 squares when I was up in the mountains live because I asked Scott to come on because Fatbirds Finds was sick and their internet was messing up, and then they fixed it and there were 5 of us. So I survived one show with 5 squares. I did. I survived it. So Mark, thank you so much. Here is your dolphin.
Super chat.
All right. One more. We'll answer the question first before I throw this one at you, though. Bridget sent a $4.99 super chat and said, how many items do you list in a day?
So I try to list 10, but I focus more on like the dollar amount I list a day. So I try to list between $250 to $300 worth of like sales a day. And then, but I shoot to hit 10, like, I would like to have 10, but I focus on the amount of gross sales listing instead of a number of items.
Yeah, I don't have a set number of items either because there are some days where I have extra time where I'll list 20 items and then I might not list anything the next day and then list 3. So I'm all over the place. I try to somewhere hit around 50 items a week that I try to get up. But some days I'll list a whole lot and then the next 2 days I won't, depending on what's going on.
Right. I'm like the same. I don't have a set number, and it depends on the day, and it depends on what I have to list. Like clothing takes me forever to list. But like I did 25 today. I don't know if that helps or not, but
Clothing pieces?
What's that?
Of clothing?
No, not clothing. No,
Oh,
no,
okay. I was like, dang.
No.
Man.
Clothing,
I could do 40 clothing items in a day pretty easy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Lynn, I expect 100 a week. So that's an average of 20 a day. She's here 6 hours a day. So I expect 100. Last week she did 150. The week before, and she did 100 this week. So 20 a day, and that's with having to pull, pack, ship, and answer questions. So I want to put John up here. Oh, I got to give you your dolphin. I'm going to come back, Bridget. John said, make sure to put your link review. John just gifted channel memberships to you guys. So John, thank you so much. He did it when we hit 100 likes. Mark can come on the channel and on the panel whenever he wants. He hasn't asked me. I assume Mark would have asked me. Me and Mark hang out in person several times a year. So OG and Z, whenever you want to come on. We are booked through June right now, though. So if you say now, then you'll have to wait till June. But Mark is welcome anytime he wants to come on. Super chat, Dolphin for Bridget. Here you go. Dun, 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 dun. Mark can come whenever, but see, like, he can't be late and pay a late fee if he's supposed to be on the panel. And his son has baseball a lot, so he comes in and rolls in. So maybe when it's not baseball season and his son doesn't have something going on. But yeah, so that would be the only caveat to that. He could come live from the baseball field if he wanted. Catherine wants to know, does eBay charge a fee when you end a listing and an item that has not sold?
I don't think so. You just end the listing. If you just end it, no.
So if you don't have a store, you would pay the insertion fee still. Right. If you don't have a store, it would be like the 20 or 30 cents or whatever. If you have a store, then no, but there's no fee like when you end it. You would have paid the fee when you listed it the first time.
If you don't have a store, you're saying. Right,
yeah. Miss Phyllis says, does anyone have a QR code on their business cards, and what are your thoughts on doing that?
I don't even have a business card. I was just talking to you guys about it last week, wasn't I?
I have a card that I put in, each one of my sales. Trying to find a copy of it. That's what I was looking for. I don't have one over here. I'll get one though. But it basically just has my Instagram and YouTube and my eBay store just listed on there. But I'm actually running out of cards, and I was thinking about doing a QR code next time. Yeah, something similar like Mike has.
Yeah, I don't have a QR code, but I have my email, I have my phone number, because I give this out to like people.
What are you with whatnot on your card already? I'm slacking, man.
I just got them in.
I'm slacking.
So I have the channels on there in my name, but I don't have a QR code. I don't think there's. I just don't. Not for any reason. If people, why not put it on there if it helps get people to the door? Whatever.
I can never get my phone to read QR codes, so that's why I haven't put them on them. Listen, I have cards, but I don't know where they're at. Okay, so I don't use them. I need to order. I need to copy Mike. That's what I need to do.
The sticker.
I have stickers. I see it all over the place, and then I see. Oh, here, I have stickers.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, those are cool.
Wait, I gotta get one of those. I think it's outside. I have one. It's one of your original ones.
Oh, geez.
for you guys real quick. If you don't follow me on Whatnot, I just added in the Buy It Now for Tomorrow show, Nurse Flipper Camp stuff from last year. I have pins, I have notebooks, I have a few t-shirts, and I have 5 mugs from Nurse Flipper Camp that were limited to that. I just found the box from camp, and I'm like, I'm not going to reuse Nurse Flipper Camp 2022, even if I do decide. So if you want to go on Whatnot, you could buy them now, and it would roll into tomorrow's show. And then, I'm selling my books from Nurse Flipper Camp that have 8 class PowerPoint presentations in them in color. The slides to my whole, don't steal my classes. But there are, I think 9 or 10 of those as well. And so I put all of that because I was like, rather than throwing it away, I'll just do that. So yeah.
Coming soon, January Auction House class. Branded logo on there.
We had so much fun, and people keep asking me to do it again, but it's so it's a ton of work, and super stressful. That's all I'll say. It's super stressful. When you're at the event, it's great and it's fine, but it is stressful if you're the one running it. Like Chick-fil-A, I catered and they forgot our nuggets, which was the main entree. So, and I have 30 people waiting for Chick-fil-A. So it can be stressful. But we had a good time, but it was stressful. So Deja Vu is saying, Miss Rachel would love if I make a step-by-step instruction video to start and have a Whatnot show. So I've discussed this a few times. I don't feel like the demand is high enough for a video for that. That's why I've not made one. And I also can't compare my sales to somebody with no following. I don't think that would be fair. And the way I run my show, like I sell out every show. What I've been doing actually is whatever doesn't sell, I sell it at the end as a lot. We had like 5 or 6 items last night like that. But it's hard for me with a following because like I catalog, I spend 8 hours a show. And if you weren't getting that many sales because you didn't have that many followers, I wouldn't want to spend 8 hours a show, if that makes sense. So I don't know if you would want to set up and run like I run without having a following. But if you message me on Instagram, Rachel, or even on Whatnot, I'm happy to tell you exactly what I use and how I do it. I know Marcia and Caroline both do exactly how I do with the method. But again, it's a lot of hours if you're not getting the return, you know? So I don't know if you would want to run it like I do. I almost feel like with smaller audiences, you're better to run choice or like pre-bids first. Where I go in order. I don't take requests or anything except for like my resin art. But yeah, so that's why I haven't, but I'm happy to help. If you want to message me, I'm more than happy to tell you how I set up. I have no problem doing that. Karen, Raining Retro North Carolina, says, I'd like to get started doing some videos, not full-length YouTube, though. I really don't like editing and like doing quick videos for my phone. Given that, what and where would you put them?
If you like to do the quick videos, I would still do, you still use YouTube, the YouTube Shorts, and then TikTok. It's Instagram, right? I think Instagram does too.
With the reels, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's my suggestion too. Maybe YouTube Shorts or, you know.
I definitely put them on YouTube Shorts, though.
Yeah.
I mean, when I started YouTube videos, I mean, mine were short videos, like 5 to 8 minute videos, like in the beginning, just to get them out there, like just to get the feel of like what, you know, how it works, uploading. There's going to be a little bit of editing. I know you don't want to do a lot of editing, but there's going to be a little bit at least. I would start, just put it out there, and then you can make them longer as you go.
I like making 8-minute videos.
Or shorts. Shorts are good, or Instagram, like the boy said.
Yeah, and some people are monetized just on short. I would say if you want to do short videos, as in a minute or less, I upload my shorts to Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So I hit 3 in 1. If you're making it, I upload it to all 3 platforms. I was doing TikTok, but TikTok doesn't like me, so I just quit. and I'm just not getting traction. So it's not even worth like hitting the button. But I don't edit a lot. I don't over edit. Mine is just cutting the blank space out in between. I don't do fancy editing. And like a 30-minute video or 20-minute video will take about an hour to edit, just to give you an idea. My research videos is a different story. Those take like a couple hours to research, half hour to do the video, and another couple hours to edit. So those are a little bit longer, but my what sold ones aren't much to edit. And I used to do all like 11-minute videos, and that's not a bad length either, I don't think. So I would just start doing it. But if you're doing shorts, I would pop them up everywhere: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Maybe TikTok will like you. TikTok and YouTube. We got another super chat from Resell to Ride, $5 super chat. When you put your store on vacation mode, do you prefer to have a draft bank ready for that time off and launch a few listings a day, or do you let it ride?
I've never put my store on vacation mode. I've been reselling 3 years, and I've never taken a vacation, so I can't answer that.
I've done both. I've worried about like doing some listings while I was on vacation, taking some pictures, and then there were times that I went on vacation and just put it on vacation mode, and whatever happened. So whatever you're comfortable with. I haven't seen it I didn't see like a big change in the times that I did list and things like that while I was on vacation to the time that I just put it on vacation mode and didn't list anything. So I just do, if I have time to take some pictures and start some drafts or whatever, I'll do it before I go on vacation. But if not, I don't worry about it.
Yeah, I've never put my store on vacation mode either, but I have taken vacations. And the reason why is because they just changed not too long ago, the vacation mode, like the way they handle it a little bit. Like before, I just move out the shipping date. I just move out the
Handling time.
I move the handling time out to whenever I'm going to be back, which I think vacation mode does for you now, or you can just put it in there whenever you're coming back. But I don't think it ever did that in the beginning, like before, like not too long ago. And I'll draft. I'll usually take photos, and then when I'm on vacation, I'll find like a quiet time. I don't spend that much time listing when I'm on vacation.
You're usually in shelter.
Yeah, because usually it's raining when I go somewhere because I bring bad weather, but which is good. You'll have some downtime to list, but I feel like
no Wi-Fi.
I list like every day. I don't know. I'm like, a couple listings a day I have to get done. So that's how I do it. And then if something sells while I'm on vacation, I usually just like find a minute to like message the buyer, just like, hey, just so you saw the handling time is, whatever days, like I'm back on this whatever day, it'll ship out that morning. Are you okay with that? If not, I'll cancel the order. No problem. You know what I mean? I've never had anyone like get upset that it was going to take 5 days instead of 1 day handling or whatever.
Yeah. So I'm close to Dan. I've only put my store on vacation mode once in 3 years. So I would almost schedule my vacations like they're like Friday to Monday, and then I can just extend the handling time 2 days. Right. But when I did my Tennessee camp, we were gone for a week, and that was the only time in 3 years I've put it on vacation mode. And I had people listing for me, so I was putting up new listings every day. So even when I'm on vacation, like even my day and a half vacation, I listed every day. My laptop came with me, and I still listed every day. Only for like a half an hour, not long, but I like to get listings put up every day. I think it helps the algorithm. But again, like everybody's saying, I am 110% a workaholic. I have been all my life. I've had 2 jobs since I was 15. Like in high school, I had 2 jobs, and like side hustles on top of that. So I like true vacations, very, very rare. Like my laptop comes everywhere. Offers are still sent daily. Listings are still put up. And when I didn't have listers, I would have a bank of photos so that I could put those listings up while I was gone. So yeah. And okay, dolphin people, here comes the dolphin. Here you go. dun, dun, dun. I don't, Bridget, what was, oh, I think it's her package is delayed. How long should she wait? Like, so if your package is delayed to your buyer, how long do you wait before you take action on that?
Wait, if their package is delayed that they shipped?
Like they sent it to, I'm assuming she sent it to somebody. Bridget, if you could let us know if you mean sending it or like if it's delayed to your buyer.
So if she sent it and it's delayed and the person's wanting to know, I would try to wait as long as possible. Like, so I don't know how long that is though. I've done that before. Getting back to that first question when we started, I sent something to someone and it was delayed, and I ended up just refunding them, and then it got there, and then the person's like, "Oh, it got there," and I messaged them, said it got there, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, I'll pay you back," and then they just never. I invoiced them, and then they didn't pay me. Right? Like I kind of stuck. But I've also had it where I sent something to Canada, and it got lost, and it was delayed, and luckily the person was they were working with me because we just kind of were waiting, and it just never showed up. So we ended up waiting. I was ready to just refund them to get on with it, but they wanted to wait like another week, and then we waited another week, and it still didn't show up. So I did it. But I think if it's in America, I don't know if I usually check with my post office, and then they have like the lost item you can
request.
Yeah, and then put that in there and do that.
It has to be like 2 weeks for I think it's 2 weeks for priority. Like you can't file it until
I haven't done it in a long time. Like I haven't had, gosh, I'm gonna have a problem now. I'm talking about. I haven't had a problem like that in a long time.
Yeah, I think the best way. I'm not sure if she was the one that sent it out or whatever, but I always try to stay in communication especially if I'm the seller, who sent out the package. I usually respond to them. I'll say, let me check. I'll check with the local post office, and you don't get much information like Kat said. I think it's got to be missing for 14 days before they even, put a request in to get it. So I try to just, keep in contact with them. There's a terminal in like North Jersey, in Pennsylvania. If it goes to North Jersey, there's sometimes, it can sit there for weeks, and it usually happens around that time. So I usually tell them, look, I had some, if it's going, especially like if I ship something to Connecticut, that just comes off the top of my mind because that's where I had a problem with. I said, if it went to this terminal, I've had problems with it before where it sits for a few extra days. Just give it some time. And usually people are okay with that as long as you communicate with them. I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, that Jersey City terminal is tough up there, Jeff. Yeah, all my stuff goes through there too. But yeah, just keep in communication. I check with my local post office if something's delayed, because sometimes they have like little secret things they do in the back, or I don't know what they do. You know what I mean? They actually find it or whatever. But, and I think just the fact that you're like, hey, I don't know, let me check. I'll check on my end with my local post office and let you know what they say. And then you get back to them. And I think people just appreciate that. Try to do the best you can. But yeah, at some point, they're going to get upset enough to where they want their money, and you'll have to make a decision on refunding them, I guess.
Yeah, I'm with Dan. I wait absolutely as long as I possibly can. I had a $300 Flow Blue 2 weeks ago that was lost, and the buyer actually, same thing as Dan. If they're willing to work with you and wait. And it came like 2 weeks late. And I'm like, man, of course it's a $300 item. If they had filed an item not received, eBay would have forced me to give them their money back, and then they would have got it. And I would have had to trust them, like Dan said, that they would either send it back to me or I could invoice them and get paid. And I have had some people message me and say, hey, you refunded me. I got it. I want to pay you. So there are honest people out there. But I would wait as long as I possibly couldn't, basically until that buyer forces it by filing a claim. Keep up the communication with them. I check the tracking, let them know what I'm seeing. After 10, I think it's 10 days, you can file the priority claim. So 10 working days, 2 weeks. A lot of times if you file that, it shows up. It's really weird. It's like, oh, they're looking for it. Let me find it's very strange. So yeah. Shannon wants to know, when you're sourcing while on vacation, how do you count mileage? We drive everywhere. Would you count the mileage from your home? I would start this off and say none of us are a tax professional as far as legally.
Right.
Oh, that's a good. Yeah, let's start with that. Because I was just, I don't source. I haven't been on vacation, so I can't answer it on the hot seat.
To be honest,
Well, you go on vacation a lot.
to be honest, I usually don't write off the mileage that I go on vacation and do it.
Not when I go on vacation, like from the drive from my house to the vacation spot. Like if I drive to the Outer Banks and I know I'm going to source one day or half a day, I don't count the miles from Pennsylvania to North Carolina. You know what I mean? But I'll count it from the house I'm staying that day to the sourcing places in North Carolina to North Carolina. You know what I'm trying to say? Like I'll count, because it is miles on your car. I mean, you are out and about using it. But I wouldn't count the whole, just me, I wouldn't count the whole trip. Unless you're going to specifically take a vacation sourcing trip, maybe. You know what I mean? Like I'm going.
No, I've taken, I've taken a trip where I've sourced.
Like that yard sale stuff or whatever.
Yeah, like all the way up and all the way back. And of course, you use that mileage. But if it's like a family trip, and we're going to my in-laws in North Carolina, I don't count that mileage. But I will count the mileage from, my in-laws' house to the flea market or yard sale down there.
And that's just how I do it. Maybe you can do it that way. I don't know. I don't do it that way, and I'm not a professional, so I'm not. I just count the miles I actually go.
So I would say, first off, ask a tax professional.
Right.
What I have been told, because I do a lot of traveling, is that whatever your primary reason for that trip is whether or not you can count it. So if your reason for going, like if I'm going somewhere to source, like I went to Birmingham, Alabama to look at an estate, and I went to thrift stores. That was the only reason I went there. That would all be counted. But if I was going to Birmingham, Alabama to visit family, and then I went to a few thrift stores, that would not be it. But it could maybe from my place of where I was staying to the thrift store and back, because that was all work related. But like I do a lot of sourcing trips. Like I went to Pennsylvania to source and make videos. So every single mile of that is all counted. Birmingham was counted. But depending on the primary reason. So are you going to work and you happen to, like I had dinner with Jocelyn, Crazy Lamp Lady, and Dale. So I did have fun with my friends, but my primary reason for going there was working, sourcing, and videos. So you could still, it's what is your primary reason for going there? That's the main thing. Let's see. What's next? Catherine P, how do you change a price on a listing? I'm a beginner and I don't even know how to end a listing. I don't know if one of us I can pull up on my phone. If you have your listings here, then you just click the 3 dots there and you can hit revise, and then you can change your listing that way, and end listing is there as well. So hit those 3 dots when you go to your listings, and that'll give you all the options. I will tell you, if you run a sale and you change a price when something's on sale, when the sale goes off, the price reverts back. So be very careful with that. If you want to permanently change a price, you need to do it when the sale is not running. Miss Rachel says, does the eBay algorithm get affected when you end listings because you sold them on another platform?
I have no idea.
I don't think so. I usually list items that are close to like ending in 24 hours anyway, and just relist them. Some of them sell similar, that have been sitting there, and I'll revise the the listing a little bit. I don't think it affects it.
Well, I think she might be asking, like,
Because she sold on Poshmark.
Heard that any activity is good activity on eBay as far as the algorithm goes. So listing, sending offers, revising prices, selling, ending. But ending would be an activity as well, right? I mean, so maybe that would affect the algorithm somehow. Maybe. I don't think anyone really knows how the algorithm works.
We can't know for sure, but I don't think it negatively affects you as long as you're still listing and sending offers and stuff like that. I don't think that it is negatively going to hurt you. Randomly beautiful collectibles. Can you use List Perfectly to move listings from one eBay store to a new eBay store? Since I am the only List Perfectly user, I will answer this. Yes, and I did exactly that. And I've known people who sign up for it just to do that. So when I first started the channel, decided I was going to do the 2-channel thing and have my regular and then a YouTube store, and I forgot to ship things because you can't get notifications for 2 stores on your phone. And I would ignore the second one. So what I did was I copied all of the listings from my second store into List Perfectly, and then I ended them on eBay, signed into my main eBay account, and cross-posted them all back onto the main account. So yes, you definitely can. And the cool thing is, if you buy out someone who is willing to share their password and they have those items listed, you could literally copy all of their photos and listings into your store with List Perfectly, which would be amazing. And I know somebody took over their sister's store and did that. So yeah, totally doable. And like, if that's the only reason, you could, get it for a month. And then if you didn't need it anymore, you could unsubscribe. It's a month-to-month thing. So, but yeah, you definitely can do that.
List Perfectly sounds great.
List Perfectly seriously is amazing. Like, Dan, I've used them for 3 years exclusively. I looked at Vendu. So like I didn't jump off the free flip and get on the free flip train because I love them. But I was looking at List Perfectly and Vendu when I started. And when I started, Vendu didn't cross post to Facebook Marketplace, and I wanted to, and List Perfectly offered it. So that's why I originally chose List Perfectly.
I tried.
But now, like, they have so many features and they're so like reseller oriented.
They don't have an app though, do they?
You can do everything except for cross posting. Like, you can create a listing and everything on your phone, in List Perfectly, and you can like access your catalog and all that on your phone. You just can't end unless you're on a browser.
Oh, okay.
Or cross post. I bought a little Chromebook just for that I would bring to work when I was still nursing. And I would just use a little Chromebook to cross post, and they're under $200. That's what I would do. Do any of us have any videos on using freight for furniture? I may need to put it on a pallet, but I want to learn how before posting.
No.
I've never sold anything.
I do.
I know.
Cat probably has it though.
I do have one on selling furniture. I will give you this disclosure. I don't really sell that much anymore because when gas prices went up, freight tripled in cost. So most people don't want to pay for it anymore. I'm actually trying to find somewhere to like consign the pieces I still have. I know Steadfast Selections. I don't know if Renee's in here. She has palleted stuff and brought it to like FedEx. I've never done that, so you might want to search for that. I've never palleted it. I always use UShip, where they come to your house, they pick it up, they blanket wrap it, and they deliver it. So I do have a video on that, but beware that the freight costs are now, almost tripled. So a lot of people I would say you need a pretty expensive item for people to be willing to pay for freight. Desert Fairy Chick, the green is members. The green in the chat is members that are members of the channel. That is what that is, since I see that question. Bridget wants to know if we keep our sourcing receipts.
Yes.
Yep.
I haven't made April. I keep them all in an envelope.
Mm-hmm.
And every month get a new envelope.
I am bad, and I don't.
Oh.
I use the same credit card for a separate credit card. I only use that basically when I go sourcing, and any cash withdrawals come out of that. I usually use when I go to the flea market or the state sales or whatever. So if I do end up losing the receipts or whatever, it's at the end of the month, it's all on one separate bank account with one card.
Yeah, and mine's all on the card. And like if I go to Goodwill, the nice thing about being a YouTuber is I have a video evidence of every single thing I purchase, because I don't go thrifting without recording it. So I have not. I do keep my auction receipts because I don't have videos of that. So I do keep those, and typically those are bigger purchases for me. They're normally several $1,000s compared to like $100 at a thrift store. So my last one was 2,500. It's sitting on my porch right now.
30.
So yeah, I think the most I spent was like $9. That was on a bunch of Disney stuff though. Like 9,000.
Jesus.
You can't be scared.
Well, I don't have $9,000 to spend though.
Well, you gotta sell more, Dan.
I
list more.
I know.
List. Siggy wants to know if eBay updated again. She said she hasn't had sales in 6 days. Her impressions have dropped, and they're dropping each day. She's still listing 12 plus each day and has 100% feedback.
I would look at what are you selling? Pay attention to your the sell-through rate of the items. So just look for some stuff, comp some stuff out that looks like it's gonna, has a really high, almost 100% sell-through rate, and try list that and see what happens. And I don't know if you promote. I promote all my listings, so I would look at that.
Yeah, you can try different things like that. Promote it, run a sale.
Yeah.
Things like that. But no sales in 6 days. I don't know. It could be anything, I guess. But I always try to look at my pricing. If I have slow weeks or whatever, I always try to look at what I'm doing wrong, or not wrong, but what I'm doing that would affect it. Listing better items, listing items in general. Prices, because prices change all the time, especially in the DVD market, in the video games and sneakers and things like that. Prices are always changing. What's fashionable now, things like that. So I try to go through my store when I do have some slower times and look at what I'm doing.
Right. Same thing here. I mean, sometimes it's just the economy's up and down a lot of times with sales. 6 days seems like a lot, but yeah, try running a promotion or a sale or send offer. Change your price, whatever. Sometimes it just is what it is.
Yeah, we're down. Like today, we're only at $64, and I have $200,000 in inventory listed. So $64 is very, very low. Yesterday was low too, only $150 and $220 on Sunday. But on Saturday, I did $620. So like overall, I'm 1% up for the month. I would just keep listing, Siggy. I had bumped my promotions to just trending. I bumped them up to trending +1. I used to do trending +3. I might bump them up another %, trending +2. But try that. Do the sale, do promotions, and just keep listing. It'll come back. It'll come back. I had really slow for a while. Yes, the mods are on point tonight. Thank you guys so much. I know John More Income, Marsha, and Mark, and if anybody else has been helping mod, thank you as well. I don't see the moderating side on the StreamYard side, but I did see some stuff pop up and disappear. Rose wants to know, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, but I guess we can quickly answer, what is your daily listing goal and how many days a week do you post?
Okay, so real quick again, I try to hit a dollar amount, and then I list every day. I some days I might not hit I won't hit my goals every day, but I list every day. Once in a while I won't list anything, or I try to at least do something if I don't have anything. If I'm not gonna list, if something comes up, but I every day.
Yeah, I try to list every day too, but it doesn't always happen for me. Like I said, I'm part-time, so there are days that I list a larger amount, 20, 25 items, and then the next 2 days I might not list anything. But in my head, and I try to stick to that I list something every day, but there are days where I don't list.
Right. I list every day, and I don't really have like a goal where like, you know, I have to hit something, but I do like, I'll always try to get like between 10 or 15 at least. But it's not like a goal. I just feel like, cause I like write it, like I do little notches on a paper, like a little check mark when I list something. And like, if those checks are like light, if it was only like 3 or 4, I don't know, in my brain, it just like, I can't deal with it. So I try to get more, but there's some days you only get 4 or 5 listings done. I think if you just list consistently, you'll be all right.
I look at it the week too. Like, so I mean, sometimes, so if I said before, like, so I do the dollar amount, but then if I try to hit 10 a day, but some days that if I might be busy, it might go source. So I'll list, I might only get 5, and then the next day I'll do 5. But then, so over the week, I hit my goal. I think, cause I keep track on my phone. I do like a momentum board type thing since June of 2021. And well, this year I've been a lot better. I think the only time was in February where I had 1 week I didn't hit my goal for the week. So I kind of look at it like the week by week, and then instead of, you know, hit for the day, but overall for the week, hit your goals.
Yeah. So during the week for me, I want to get 20 listed, and on the weekends 10. So that's 120 a week. We're at like 6,300 listings now. So I really want to post 7 days a week. I have to show, look, so I just sold this. This is an 1.5 inch bench, and it sold for $77. 1.5 inch, little dollhouse bench.
Nice.
$77.
Nice.
Yeah, that big. Well,
Nice.
I bet tomorrow Lynn's going to be looking for a big thing, and I'm going to be like, no, it's like that little. I bet money tomorrow that'll happen. Unless she's watching. She does watch me sometimes.
Hi, Lynn.
Bridget is asking, why won't my jewelry sell? So if you sell jewelry, give her some input. If you don't, then just pass it on.
I don't sell jewelry.
I don't sell jewelry either, but whenever I do have a jewelry question, the 2 people above us will be able to answer.
Listen, I'm just starting out with jewelry, but you know, there's a lot of variables. There's a lot out there. It seems like, you know, and there's a lot of variables and pictures and pricing, and knowing what you have is very important. So I don't know how to answer. Sometimes I do auctions. Sometimes I do buy it nows. But I've been selling a lot on Whatnot as well. I don't really know how to answer why it won't sell, but.
Whoop, whoop. Mark sold me some good jewelry, y'all. We convinced him live in the show last week. It will be live tomorrow night, and most of it is amazing stuff, and stuff for my friend Lisa. So I had to thank you for selling me it, Mark. Don't watch what I make on it. Don't watch. He's gonna watch. He's gonna watch, and we're friends, so it notifies me when he watches. I want to say with jewelry, if you are selling it on eBay and you're not promoting it, that's probably why it's not selling. When I was doing a lot of jewelry, all of my jewelry was promoted at 15%. So jewelry on eBay is oversaturated, and there are a ton of overseas sellers that will beat your price. They will beat your price, kick your butt on sterling, on a lot of stuff. Well, everybody wants more money, you know, Mark. Anyway, if it goes really high, I might give you more. Might. I'm saying might. I'm not saying I am on camera. So if you're not promoting, I would promote at least 10% on jewelry on eBay. It's oversaturated, and you need to get your listing seen into the top. So all of my jewelry now, 99.9% of my jewelry goes on to Whatnot. And I'll tell you, I listen, buddy. So like, I will tell you, like, some of the pieces I got from Mark are worth quite a bit. So you definitely want to be there tomorrow night. But I'm starting them all at $2. So there is room for resellers. I'm okay only making, like, Mark made money on me. I know Mark already made money on me. So I'm okay if I make a little, and there still might be $50 or $100 on some of these pieces for resellers that are willing to wait 6 months to a year to sell that piece. Whatnot for me is a fast nickel. Fast nickel versus slow dime. Fast nickel. I have the PayPal, buddy. If you're not seeing the chat that me and Mark are having a conversation,
For sure.
so I might only make 25% of what I could get on eBay, but I'm still making money. I'm still making money, and it's fast. It's fast. I did not. The only things posted on Whatnot for tomorrow right now are the nurse flipper camp stuff. I will promote or catalog in the morning, so you guys have time to research. I will do that for you guys tomorrow. Marcia, just kick them out. Don't give them another chance. Just get rid of them. Okay. So if you're not promoting, that's why. Good pictures, good titles. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and put Bridget's other question, because it's, to me, was it hard when I first started? It's not hard, but it's a lot of work. And I think a lot of people, if you haven't done reselling, don't realize the amount of work it is. And if it's not something you love, it's really a lot of work. I love doing it, so it doesn't feel like work to me. The hardest thing is building it up where you have more capital and can get more inventory, higher dollar inventory. And that took years, of only, like, I would only pay myself exactly what I needed for bills, nothing more. And everything else would go back into inventory. So until you get it built up, like, I'm having decent sales, but you guys have to remember I have over 6,000 listed. So like we're selling like 10,000 a month, and we were selling 10,000 a month with only 4,000 listed. So it's honestly, it's bad. It's not, where it should be, but it takes time to build it up. And it's a long game. It's not a fast game. Reselling and building it up in a steady income is not something that happens overnight. So just keep that in mind when you're doing it. Miss Lisa wants to know if anybody else on the panel besides me do lives. And you can say if you do YouTube or Whatnot or whatever you do that's live. Instagram, whatever you do.
I don't do lives. I do videos on YouTube. We used to do a live, the three of us, and then they kicked me out of the group.
No, I don't do any lives. We used to do one together, but that ended during a contract dispute. So we're trying to get the band back together.
Mike's got a new gig, though. He's co-host.
Yeah, I do lives. I used to do live with these two guys, but they wouldn't meet my contract demands, so I left. I Sunday auction on my YouTube channel, 7:00 p.m. Eastern, and last couple weeks I've been doing 3 shows a week on Whatnot. So I just kind of got started over there. Kat helped me a lot, some moral support and some tips. So
rough. It's rough without a following.
Yeah, it is. It is. But I'm starting to build it up. I'm starting to build it.
It just takes time. It's like time and consistency. It's like with anything else.
Yep.
Miss Catherine sent a $5 super sticker. Thank you so much. Here, watch out, people. Here comes Dolphin. Dun, 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 dun. Here, I'll grab this real quick. Dan, they want to know if you're in Pennsylvania too.
No, I'm in Indiana.
I don't know if any of us can, Patty, I don't think any of us know this. Does anybody know what's up with eBay dropping listings and relisting sold? I wish we knew. We knew. Does it? No.
I haven't
All
had
right.
that.
It's done it to me on both ends.
Really?
Like ending and relisting items. Yeah, like sold items will get relisted, and then like I'll find stuff that's ended that I didn't end, and
I found items that are in my listed tub, boxes that are not listed anymore. So
I've had that, yeah.
Sometimes
we don't know why.
No, I don't.
That's what she was asking is why, and I don't think any of us know why. Selena wants to know, what is a mistake you've made that you learned from recently and can offer advice for anyone else who may have made the same mistake?
Oh man, that's a tough question there. I've just about made every mistake in the world. I'm trying to think what I've done recently. Most of my mistakes are they come from like shipping errors, which when if you're selling everything and anything, it just comes down to like the size of the items and then your weight. But like I sell mostly clothing and shoes now, so like other than if a pair of shoes is kind of a bigger if it's 3 pounds compared to 2 pounds and it's going farther, I'm gonna get hit harder with the shipping price on that. But it's not like that bad, and I mean, and then you can ship it with. But if something happens like that, the advice I can give you would be to look at where you can ship from, like UPS instead of the post office. That's what I've learned the most. But I mean, shipping is my biggest problem all the time. But just selling clothing and shoes now, you kind of everything weighs about the same, and you kind of know how. At worst, you're gonna put it in a bubble mailer for like some, like a heavy pair of jeans or something.
Yeah, I would say the same thing with Dan is shipping. I made some mistakes in shipping, but even more importantly, I've made a lot of mistakes in not really understanding the sell-through rate. And I made some bad buys due to some sell-through rates not being what I thought they were, and things like that.
So why don't you explain the sell-through rate to them in case there's some new sellers?
Like a sell-through rate is checking, like if I'm buying this baseball here, checking out how many how many are actively listed and how many sold in the last 90 days. You know what I mean? I made some items I bought some items that had 50 of these listed for active and only 2 of them sold in the last 90 days. And I ended up buying it, and that's a terrible resell. Right.
So that's a bad sell-through rate, right?
So it might never sell, because it's only selling 2 every 3 months. So you want to try to look for something that if it has 50 of these listed, 100 sold, within the last 90 days. That's a better sell-through rate.
So what's a sell-through rate you target?
And see, it all depends.
How you're buying?
Yeah, it depends what I'm buying. Because sometimes with like sneaker, like I saw a lot of sneakers where the sell-through rate on a pair of Jordans, might be good, but it has, a size 13 might sell a little bit better. You know what I mean? Where there's a lot of size 8s that are sitting active. So a lot of things, but sell-through rate mainly is what something, if you're starting out new, is trying to understand. I probably didn't explain that, correctly.
I think you did. I mean, they just need to pay attention to how many are sold versus how many are listed. I do a lot of long tail stuff because I'm okay waiting, but it's like not like there might only be 2 listed and none sold. So you really don't have a history on stuff like that.
And I think some of the mistakes, not only that, it leads into other things. It leads into, by making those bad decisions and buying those items that don't sell, fast. If you don't have the space, you know what I mean? You might buy something that, it's going to take a year to sell, but it might be a bigger item. It's taking up stuff in your, space in your garage. I work out of my garage in my basement, so I don't have a ton of space. So that was a mistake that, I've made that led into other things of not being able to buy some faster moving items because I didn't have storage space to do it. So it's kind of like a snowball effect if you don't get that sell-through rate under control, and understanding that.
Very good. Yeah. I would echo maybe some of the mistakes, not so much mistakes, but just not knowing, like if you're going to go into a new category that's new for you, like I recently just started getting into clothing more. So I just found a good source where I have a lot of clothing lately, but like, all the different measurements you need for like jeans or whatever, like, jackets or whatever, like, what to take pictures of and how to ship it. What's the most economical way? Same thing for like platforms. I think people like to jump all around. Like if you don't know how to use eBay all the way and you want to post it to Macari and you want to post it to wherever, Debop and all that, I think it helps to like learn one, you know what I mean? Or at least make sure you're doing your research either on an item and what you need to know to sell it, or the platform and what you need to know how to sell it there, especially Debop.
Bebop.
Yeah, she said she should have said besides shipping, but I think shipping is probably the most common one, and that's one that me, even 3 years in, we had a couple things that were oversized that I didn't catch, that they were oversized. I didn't put it, and that's a lot of money. Yes, Bebop is the newest platform, if you guys haven't heard of it. But yeah, so shipping is something that like is constantly, like, I would say double check it. So we've had 2 in the last week that my mom cross posted with free shipping on Mercari, and I lost $10 sending it, but I still sent it. And that's just like where you need to double check and make sure, especially on Mercari likes to revert it to free shipping. Double check on Mercari, and just make sure, but the sizes are the biggest thing. Chaskin says every time you list a breakable on Poshmark, it has a warning that says breakables aren't covered by insurance. How can they do that if it's priority? I'm just going to answer this and say they can't if the box was damaged, but they aren't wanting like casual sellers shipping dishes that don't know how. So all you're doing is saying, okay, I know how to ship this. It's packaged properly. And I think you could fight it if somebody got a box that was drop kicked, and very obviously so. But they don't, because Poshmark is a lot of casual sellers that might not be familiar with tracking breakables. So I think that's why they do that disclosure. They don't want somebody just throwing a plate in a box and like, okay.
Wait,
And, it arrives in a million.
That's not it.
I mean, you can try it. This is opinion, so we'll give Janet our opinion.
Okay.
She says she averages 125 items on eBay. She's considering getting a starting store mainly to put things on sale. Do you think it's worth it? And then will she get the 250 free listings per month in any category?
Oh, man. I
Just your opinion, Dan. There's no right or wrong answer.
I'm just like, I was so excited when I got started with, I've been selling on eBay for years. And when I got back into it, I was so excited just to start a store. So I just started a store because you get to you make your store up that honestly, probably people no one ever sees it. And then you can do your little things, and you have Seller Hub. I don't know if you have Seller Hub if you don't have a store. Like, I love that in the sale. So I think as long as you're going to be, because you have to, I sign up for the year. I think you can do month to month, but
yeah, so, you can. It's a little bit more. It's not much.
As long as you're reselling, I think you should just have a store. Like, it's well worth it. I don't know what I get other than the coupon, and I just like it.
Well, you don't get the coupon with the starter store.
Oh, not the starter. Okay, so I had the basic one then.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You probably have basic. Yeah.
I jump into stuff. Like, I jumped instantly into like the next tier up, and I paid a whole year.
They didn't have the starter store when we started.
Well, yeah, but I had the bigger one than that too, because I was like,
and then like mine used to just be 1,000, and now it's 10,000.
Right.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I don't know. It depends on what you want to do. I use those things. I don't really do many sales, but I don't know. Can you promote if you don't have a store, or do you?
You can. Somebody told us, previously in a chat, you can promote.
So I kind of like Dan. I kind of just jumped into the first store that they had, but they didn't have that first, beginner store when I started. So I just went into the basic. I don't even remember what I pay, and I think I paid it for a year.
It's like $10 or something.
Yeah, because when I first started out, I was selling a lot of sneakers, but I was limited to how many sneakers that I could sell that were brand name. They limited, to like 10 items until I sold a few items. Then they would give me a few more once I shipped them out, and a few more sales. And I think I ended up just calling in eBay, and that was like a roundabout way. It was probably like a sales pitch to them, is just, tell him that he can list whatever if he buys a store type thing. And I think that's why I got into it, because I remember starting where I had to wait for things to sell before I was able to be given, able to list any more items. And I think I just got tired of it and called in and ended up just getting a store. And then I was able to list 25 pairs of Nikes, where before I was only able to list 5 pairs, because they were brand name. So that's what I ended up doing. And I've been with the same store, that I've had, the basic store, since I started.
Yeah, I agree with Joe and Dan. I like the store for a lot of reasons. I think if you're if you can manage those 125 items, and the only reason you're looking to get a store is to run sales, I mean, I think you could do that. If you can manage those 125 items, you could have basically run a sale without really running a sale, right? You could just lower the price on all, if you can manage those 125 items, right? Or you're not going to have the sale on some items and some you are, whatever. I just like to have the store for a lot of different reasons. Running a sale is one of them, but I don't know if I jump up to a store if you don't care about like the coupon and the categories and you know what I mean, or whatever, like, you know what I mean, the handling time, you know, getting top rated and all that jazz or whatever it is, you know what I mean? That's just me.
Yeah. Yeah, 125. I'm kind of half and half on it, honestly, because you're not going to get the coupon with the starter store. You can already promote. My business model runs off running sales, but I have a lot more items. You would get 250 free listings, and you'll just pay the $5.99, and then you could run a sale. I don't know with 125. I don't know. I generally tell people not to get one until they get to 250 because it monetarily makes sense because they would be charged more. But depends if you really. So I think there's a buyer mentality seeing sale versus lowering prices, like Mike said, like where they see that discount. So, I mean, if you really want to run sales, I would say get it. I mean, it's $5.99 a month. It's not very expensive. You know, I would possibly do it. All right. Mark reminded me, and I couldn't remember if I gave him his Dolphin or not. He's trying to get the band back together is what he's trying to do. And he's gonna get a Dolphin. So here you go. And Mark has the best mistake of the night. Mark shipped 2 international sales to the wrong buyers, both internationally.
Just send
Mark wins the prize. Yeah, that like it's annoying enough in the US, right? Like
right.
I've done that a couple times. Not international.
Yeah, I've done it, but not internationally. Kelly is over on Facebook. We're actually streaming to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. I don't even know like what happens on Twitter, but it's an option now, so I just pick it. But Kelly said, what are your thoughts about using eBay tape on Mercari and Poshmark packages?
I don't do it. I have a tape gun that's eBay, and I have a tape gun that's not eBay. I would do it if that's all I had, but I just don't. I don't do it.
There's a lot more to Dan's answer than just that part of it.
I mean, I have used the eBay box.
But what do you do with the eBay box with the eBay name on it? Do you cover it?
If I wouldn't if I have put stickers on it before, but I do have other boxes. But like my 8x6x4 boxes are all those now. But, you know, well, if it's on Poshmark, I mean, I just always use a priority most of the time, unless I feel bad if it's a T-shirt or something. I put it in my own poly bag. Well, not mine. I mean, it doesn't have like my branding or anything.
Those things are expensive.
I know,
like your own brand, they're super expensive.
Oh, to give your own, yeah, probably. Yeah, I can't even afford a vacation. I can't get one of those.
I just use whatever I have. I don't worry about it, but I don't do much on Poshmark. My Mercari sale that I shipped out real late was in an eBay box with eBay tape.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't care either. I get those. I use my coupon for the padded envelopes that say eBay on them.
Oh yeah.
And then if it sells on Mercari, whatever, it goes in there and it goes out. Don't worry.
I have used that. I'll put the shipping label over it.
So we quit using eBay tape. That is the cheapest, crappiest tape I've ever used in my life.
I have 2 rolls left. I had that huge store, like the bigger store, and I
did too. I did too.
Ones on it one time.
So I quit using eBay tape because it's cheap, but I get a lot of eBay boxes and eBay polys, and I don't care. I send Mercari, Poshmark, Etsy, whatnot. Like if an eBay box is what fits it, then it's going in it. And I thought about it at the beginning, and now I'm like, whatever. Like it's just going in an eBay box. So I don't worry about it. I don't use the tape anymore, though. I did upgrade my tape because the eBay tape just is horrible. It's absolutely horrible. Retro Rose in eBay, how do you find the date you posted an item? You can't see it on your phone. You can only see it on the computer. And I have a Seller Hub video showing you how to do it because and it's funny because the next question is exactly kind of on this. Go ahead, Mike.
I'll do it a different way. I just want to go it out.
Yeah, tell us.
When you list an item on eBay, you get an email that says your item is listed. So whenever I need to find out when I posted an item, I just search in my mail and it tells me the day and time.
Mike, I have 6,000 items listed.
I know, but I don't. Maybe this person doesn't either. I get
like so much spam mail. I think Yahoo has decided eBay is spam, so eBay mail goes into spam. That's a good idea. Yeah. But and I guess it keeps your email forever. But you can on the Seller Hub. The first column after like the item for me is the date listed because so you can toggle it and like by newest listed, oldest listed. And I'm going to put up the next question because for me, my offer percentage depends on the date. So I'll let everybody else answer and then I'll say what I do. Rita wants to know what percentage off do you send when you're sending offers on eBay?
Oh, so when I'm sending offers, I base mine kind of, if I just listed it, I might not. But if I'm going to send an offer, I do the bulk one in the desktop, and I usually start off with 10%. But if it's been like a slow day, I'll just go to 15%, and then I just it's just how I'm feeling that day. I don't have like a rhyme or reason.
Yeah, I send out my offers as they come in, kind of on my phone, so I don't bulk, send out the offers. So, it's usually around 10%, and sometimes my calculation's off, but I usually just take $5 or $10 off, most of the items, and as it goes, if it's been an item that I see a lot popping up and I know that I have it a long time, I might do a little bit more. But I usually do them right away when I see them in my store. I mean, on my phone.
Yeah, I do the bulk offers, and I only really do, like, generally 90% of the time I do 10% with no counter offer, unless it's been there for a long time and I want to try to move it and I have the room. Then I'll do 10, like the room in the profit or whatever the dollar amount. I'll do 10% and allow counter offers. That's generally the only two offers I send.
All right. So for me, are you ready? From 0 to 3 months, I send 10% off. From 3 months to 6 months, I send 15% off. 6 months to a year, I send 20% off. And anything over a year, I send 30% off. So I only send offers on the computer, and I have them categorized or sorted by when they were listed. So we click like the first 3 months and then we move on to the next and send those. And Karen gets 5 gold stars too. Listen, you can click on the views in the app and it shows you the start date. What? I never knew that.
Oh, no way.
What do you do?
We're all alert. You click on the views. So like on your listing, click on the views and it'll tell you the start date.
Oh,
how crazy is that?
Does it change when it like relists after the time?
No, it's the original start date.
Start date? Well, that's good. That's easier.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Everybody's doing it now. Thank you, Karen. We appreciate it. I did not know that. That is absolutely amazing.
Man,
thank you.
Man, that's awesome. That helps me.
That's crazy.
I never knew that. Miss Holla says, I sold sneakers. The buyer messaged me asking if they were for women, and I said yes. And then when he received it, he said it was big, and now he's returning it. So what do I do if I get a bad review?
So you open a return. I mean, every time I get a bad review, I try to fight it, and then sometimes it gets taken off, and then sometimes it hasn't been taken off. If it doesn't, I've just sucked it up and I just move on. if he's gonna send it back because it doesn't fit, I mean, I don't think he can give you a bad review.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I just try to work it out with them. You know, especially if you have returns turned on. You know, you have the return. You know, back. I won't give them his original shipping back if you had it. Just doesn't fit. So and pray that you don't get the bad review. But
Yeah, I don't know why you would get a bit. I mean, if they were for women, they are women's sneakers, and they just said, well, they're too big, and they want to send them back. I wouldn't think they would give you a bad review for that as long as you take the return back and everything's good. But if they gave you some bad review, you could fight it with eBay, call them, or use that Facebook eBay for
business.
Yeah, they're pretty helpful, and just explain, hey, they asked me if it was for women. I said, yeah. They said they're too big. I said, no problem. So I refunded them. Now they gave me a bad review for whatever reason. Can you help me out and see what they say?
And if you're top rated, all negative feedback is automatically removed. I don't know how many. I found it one time on there. I don't know if I could find it again. It tells you, and I had like 20 something negatives removed.
Yeah, they used to send you an email, Kat, right? Like, didn't they used to?
Yeah, but mine goes to spam, Mike. I don't get eBay email. Are you guys up for 10 minutes and we can try and like power around these questions?
Sure.
Okay, let's do it. Fast, quick fire. Answer them fast as you can.
Okay.
Mile High Mom, do you make more sales running a sale or sending out offers? What brings you more sales?
If I try both. So if I send out offers and I'm getting sales, I'll start a sale if sales have been bad. I kind of do both.
I rarely run sales. I do more promoting and sending out offers. So I would have to go with sending out offers.
Me too, sending out offers.
Yeah, I think sending out offers because I always run sales. All right. V Trider just wants a shout out to everyone still crunching numbers and doing taxes. You're not going to jail because my accountant postpones my taxes to June every year. So you're definitely not going to jail. My taxes aren't filed either, but that's for S corp reasons. Does eBay always remove a negative comment when it is refunded? If you're top rated, that's what I was just saying. If you're top rated, yes. Are any of us attending FlipCon this year?
No. I'm going to the reseller rally.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm going to the reseller rally. I believe I do have tickets, and I'm not going to FlipCon. It's the first week of Dalton's kindergarten. This one's for me. Will I ever do camp again? I might. I don't have any plans to do one at this time, but I might. Troy wants to know if any of us post videos to Rumble.
No, but Bumble I do.
What's Bumble?
I don't know.
It's a new platform.
No,
I've heard of it, so I had to do it.
I want to, and they said you can transfer your YouTube videos with one click. They actually reached out to me and asked me to put my videos on their platform, and I really want to. It's just been a time crunch, so I've not tried it. They did say it's almost like instant monetization there, and you can move your videos there with one click. So I think it's worth a shot. I need to prioritize that. Mike wants to know if any of us use Photo Room.
I do.
I don't.
I don't.
I do, and I think it's well worth it. We only have 5 more questions. We're getting through them. When do you undersell other resellers to make the fast nickel versus the slow dime? No disrespect meant. So how do you do your pricing?
I just look at the comps and then I kind of I comp everything and then I kind of just price it. I don't make it too high and I don't make it like the lowest.
Yeah, I usually don't undercut. I usually go middle of the road because I do the promoting and I send offers.
Right.
I usually go middle of the road. If something's, if the lowest item's $50, sold, and then the highest is, $100, I'll be 75, and send out offers and promote and things like that. That's just a rough estimate, but I try to be somewhere in the middle.
I try to be a little bit on the higher side of that equation usually. Like I actually like when I raise the average 90-day sale price up a little bit, because I promote and I sell and I do sales sometimes as well, and I send out offers mostly. So I'm always leaving myself a little bit of room. So I need to start a little higher. But sometimes those higher things just sell at that higher price, and I'm like, yes, this is awesome. So I don't like consciously try to undercut another seller to take a sale. You know what I mean? But like if I've had it for a long time, or it's taking up a lot of space, and somebody sends me an offer and I know it's less than what the average is, I might take it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I typically will come in like 50 cents to $1 under. So I am an undercutter, unless like if mine's in better condition, but I come in higher on my one-off. So like I sell $15 handkerchiefs a lot, and a lot of people sell them for $2, so those I sell really high. And then like, as far as the fast nickel, I'm starting all my jewelry at $2. That's worth, some of it worth hundreds of dollars. Am I undercutting? I don't have the same stuff everybody has, and I'm okay with other people making a profit on mine. So I don't feel like I'm undercutting. I'm going to grab this one. Can you please explain how promoting works? You basically choose a percent, and you only pay it if it sells. So you would have your 10 or 12% eBay fee plus 5 or 10%, whatever you promote it at, in addition, but only if it sells, and only if it sells promoted. It could still sell not promoted. It just depends on if they clicked on the listing that eBay bumped up higher for you doing that. We did that one. Okay, try and answer as quick as you can. What made you get into reselling? And then what do you do when you're frustrated with it? And how, like, if you're having a rough time listing or dealing with it, and how did you help yourself get back on track? And we only have 2 more questions after
Okay.
this.
So I got into it. I was into it a long time ago. I saw a TV show, and then I came back to it. I was trying to get into Amazon because I didn't want the stuff in my house. And so I just kind of got back into it to get out of debt. And then while I paid off all my credit card debt, and then COVID happened, and then I got laid off from my job, and I just kept up with it, and I just like doing it. So and I mean, it's up and down all the time with me. Like I have good day. I mean, I get stressed out about it because you have bad days, good days. So one day I think I got eBay figured out. The next day I don't know what I'm doing wrong, and I don't know. I just keep listing, and I just try to keep going, try to keep making sales, and then again go back to like the big picture, like the big thing. It's over the time of the month or the year. My sales are way better than they were, and I know a lot more than I did 3 years ago when I started. But like hopefully in 3 years I'm still doing it, and I am way better than I am right now. So that's it.
Yeah. Well, maybe getting the reselling. I always choose. When I was a young kid, I was a sneakerhead, as they say. Before it was cool to be a sneakerhead, I guess. So I was always into sneakers, and I always flipped sneakers. And then I had kids, and that all kind of stopped. And they started going. I have 3 kids. All 3 of them are in private school. So once they started going to school, I needed to find some way to pay their tuition. So that's what keeps me involved in reselling, and I pay all the tuition through reselling. When I get frustrated and I try to get back on track, it's always good to have some friends. I talk to Dan and Mike every single day.
Well, sometimes
to get me back on track. It's nobody else in my house resells, or I have 3 other brothers, none of them resell. So you got to try to make some friends in the business that, will keep you back on track and motivate you. And there are some times where, I do feel burnout from it, and, I don't feel like listing, and I don't feel like, doing it, getting that shipping done and all that. But, I have that tuition bill that's coming every month to, motivate me to, get back into it. But I would say, just keep at it, keep plugging at it, make some friends, especially on YouTube. I met Dan and Mike and Kat all through YouTube. And, I know if I ever had a problem or I need some motivation, I can reach out to any of them on there.
Dan, we got to give Joe that $5 for saying that nice stuff. So I started reselling, not really, but I started I grew up in like the early mid 90s at those like sports card shows, like at the malls and like the hotels.
Listen, Mike, we were born the same year. Me and you were born the same year.
So my dad and I would go to the malls and sell these cards, and we were selling comic books and stuff. And then, I had an eBay account after eBay came along, and I would sell things here or there. And then one day I was watching the news, and had this like whole news segment about this kid, and he was buying stuff at Walmart and selling it on eBay. And I didn't know at the time it was retail arbitrage. They started getting into it a little bit. So I started looking up on YouTube, and then I found some people like, some bigger YouTubers that were doing it full time. And I was like, this is awesome. This is what these people do all day. Like they go buy at flea markets and auctions. And I kind of got hooked on trying to do it full time since then. But yeah, Joe's right. Try to find, it's frustrating. A lot of people that are outside of our world don't really, they understand maybe, but they don't, not the ins and outs and how frustrating it can be sometimes. Sometimes you just need to take a break, go for a walk. I mean, it's a nice world out there some days, you know what I mean? Like in, I don't know, get up and get out and, go do something else. Even if you go watch a TV show, 10, 15 minutes, try to come back to it, clear your mind a little bit, and you'll be all right.
Yeah, so I grew up in reselling. I had an older brother who was 20 years older than me who bought U-Hauls full of stuff, sold it at the flea market. I really grew up and I loved it. He had like a house full of stuff. He was like one of the hoarder houses. And like I'd go through all of his stuff. So I was like buying sour heads at Sam's and reselling them in middle school. Like I'd buy the big jar at Sam's and I resell them. And this time though, I've resold off and on eBay since 99, right? Since the beginning of eBay. This time was because of Dalton. So if you guys don't know, I have a 21-year-old, a 23-year-old, and then I have a 4-year-old. So I started over. I'm a little bit older. I appreciate the time with him a lot more than when I was 20 and 21 and threw the kids to my mom so I could go to the club. Now I want to spend time with him. And that was my reason. I wanted to be home with him. I was gone 15 hours a day nursing, but I made a lot of money nursing. So I had to really, that's, if you guys wonder why I'm so motivated and why I push so hard, I had a really nice income and I live according to that really nice income and I want to keep that really nice income. So that is why I do what I do. I've gotten frustrated several times over the years, never to the point of wanting to quit, but kind of being, down and not wanting to list. I would say, like, I know for most resellers, thrifting, going sourcing as like that's the fun part of it. So I would give myself a reward. Like if you list 10 items a day, you can go buy 5 items at the thrift store and just something little to go out and do it. I agree with the guys. Meet friends who are in it. Like I know Marsha and Mark, my 2 main moderators, I have met both of them in person. Mark's here in Florida. Marsha's here in Florida. I bought and sold stuff from Marsha as well as Mark. So having friends you can reach out to is definitely a good thing. Watch some uplifting videos. I really changed my outlook on life when I started watching motivational speakers. I love Oprah. I love Steve Harvey. I love them. And that really, really changed my outlook. And it made me more motivated because they're like Steve Harvey's like, if you sleep 8 hours a day, you're wasting time. Like he's like, don't sleep. Like you got to get stuff done. And it like that made a 100% difference in my business and my life. And I started doing that about a year ago. Evan Carmichael has a channel where he curates different motivational speakers and you can find like your favorite that you mesh with because everybody doesn't like the same speakers. So yeah, that's a really good way. Question for me. Most of my sold items are odd numbers. How come? Because of offers. Because I'm sending 10%, 15%, 20, and 30%. So it ends up at odd numbers on that. And I can answer this one real quick and then we'll let the guys say goodbye. If you delist and relist, won't there be a new start date? Yes. And that is one of the reasons I do not do it because I want to know how long it's been listed. If you're doing that and wanted to know, you could use the custom SKU and put in the original start date. But I don't delist and relist. All right. My voice hurts because I've been like That was a lot of talking. All right. I'm going to let these three gentlemen tell you guys goodbye, tell you what they have coming up. They will tell you what I have coming up and who will be on next week. Dan, you're going to be big. You're going to be big. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Can you handle it?
I'm going to try to do
You
better.
can do it. Ready, set, go.
All right. Oh, I'm big though. All right. Kat, thanks for having me on. It was super fun. Everyone in the chat was awesome. I had a great time. What do I have going on? I just put out a video today. And that's about it. I'm going to keep selling stuff, but I had fun. This is fun. I don't know what I'm supposed to
Good
say.
job. Good job. Here's Joe.
Kat, thanks again for having me on. I appreciate it. I have a lot of fun answering these questions. Like I said, not too many people in my, real life, as I call it, are into reselling. So I do get to enjoy, answering some of these questions and talking reselling when I'm on here. I've taken a little step back from YouTube, so I haven't put a video out in probably over a month, but I'm hoping to get back in that. I focused more last month on trying to get my reselling business back on track and getting more organized and, getting the processes down. So that's what I've been focusing on. So, but once again, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
People. Here's Mike.
All right. Hey, Kat, thanks for having me on again as well. Always have a great time on the channel here with you. Thanks to the people in the chat. Great questions tonight. It was nice meeting some new names out there. January Auction House, you can find me on Whatnot. I have a sale tomorrow, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and Friday, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And then the January Auction House on YouTube, Sunday night, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern. You can find me over there. Thanks again.
All right. Mark's yelling at me because I didn't tell. We all of you in the chat last week, we got Kathy the Kitschy Cat to 1,000 subscribers.
Oh.
I think 2 or 3 days after the show, but she hit 1,000. So we're super, super happy about that. If you guys missed last week's show, check that out. Where she's not doing videos, she only does live sales. We're trying to convince her to do some videos on YouTube. Next week, we are going to have Resell to Ride as well as Troy Mountain Man Treasure. He hasn't been on with us in a while. So Resell to Ride has never been on, but sends us super chats every week. So super excited to have her on with us. And Rod will be back. He actually timed his honeymoon, so he only missed one show. That's how dedicated he is. So Rod will be back next week. I skipped my Sunday video. I took a break, had my little vacay on the beach with Dalton. So I will probably put out a catch treasure hunting video tomorrow. My regular What Sold on Thursday on this channel. I have an amazing, there is a lot of money on the table tomorrow, guys, for resellers. All sterling silver, 100, 200, some pieces worth more than that with $2 starts. So if you're not following me on Whatnot, use my code, get $15 for free. All $2 starts. We're live on Thursday at 11:30 a.m. because I have the members live Thursday night. So I won't be on Whatnot Thursday night. It'll be Thursday at 11:30 a.m. And what else? Thank you all. Thank you guys for coming on. Last week it was Rod and 3 women. This week we reversed it. So thank you all for watching us. We appreciate it. Check these guys' channels out for sure. And we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.